Hello. This week we're going to take a look at Chapter 11 in Steps to Writing Well, which is the unit that discusses description. Description creates a word picture of people, places, objects, and emotions, using a careful selection of details to make an impression on the reader. So how do we write effective description? When you're writing effective description, it's important that you recognize your purpose. Your description appears in your writing to help you inform, clarify, persuade, or create a mood. You should describe clearly, using specific details. You must include a sufficient number of details that are specific rather than fuzzy or vague. Select only appropriate details. The choice of details depends largely on the writer's purpose and audience. Make your descriptions vivid. Use clear, precise words and improve any kind of writing. So, what this essentially means is that you have to be aware of the picture you want to paint for your audience. If you're telling a story to somebody who was there with you, you don't need the same level of detail that you do when it's somebody who's not familiar with the situation you're discussing. So for the class, if you're talking about a personal scenario, you'll need to include enough detail so that we're in the moment with you and we can see what you're seeing without stopping and having to wonder what you're talking about. If you don't have the appropriate level of description, it's distracting to the reader because they're sitting there pondering and trying to figure out what's going on. And on the same token, it's overwhelming if you're describing everything. For example, if you're looking at a person and you're describing everything from their hair color to their height down to the buttons on their clothes, that can be a little over-involved and cumbersome for the reader. So, some problems to avoid. Remember your audience. Ask yourself about your audience. What do they need to know to see as clearly as you do? Avoid an erratic organization of details. When you write a lengthy description, select a plan that will arrange your details in an orderly fashion. Avoid any sudden shift and change in perspective. Any shift in point of view must be presented clearly and logically with no sudden, confusing leaps from a front to back view or from outside to inside. So our essay assignment, our first option, is your town or neighborhood. For this option, you'll describe your town or neighborhood in a descriptive essay with a strong controlling theme. In other words, while you should describe your town or neighborhood vividly and accurately, you should make sure that there is one central point or idea about the town or neighborhood that is suggested by all of the description you use. Avoid making your essay a sort of roadmap for the town or neighborhood. Instead, think about what your town or neighborhood means to you, and then select those descriptive details that help contribute to this idea. From your essay, readers should get a clear sense of what the town or neighborhood is like and a clear understanding of some idea about the town or neighborhood. So for example, I grew up in Newport, Kentucky and spent a lot of time there. The Newport that is there now, which if you're in the Cincinnati area, I'm sure many of you have probably visited the levee or something like that. That was not part of the Newport I grew up with. So if I were to write about my town or my neighborhood, I'd talk about all the changes and evolution that Newport has seen. And that would be my controlling theme. Probably something like, this isn't the Newport that I knew, but for the better. And then we have option 2, a nature scene. So for this option, you need to write a descriptive essay with a strong controlling theme about a place in nature that is special to you or that you would like to explore, such as a stream or a wooded area that you enjoy. You should bring this scene to life for readers with vivid images and descriptions, conveying to readers through your descriptions the special qualities of the place. You also need to include a strong controlling theme, a clear main idea about the place that is suggested by the descriptive details you choose. You should avoid describing a vacation spot that you remember, such as the mountains or the Grand Canyon. Essays on subjects like this often lack originality and the personal perspective of the writer. They often end up sounding like advertising material for the place. So instead, choose a place that has more of a personal significance, a place that's special to you and that you would like to share with others. So in this case, I'm not much into nature, but when I was younger, my grandparents would take me to a creek by their house that fed into the Licking River, and I really liked it there. It was shaded. We'd have picnics on the bank. It was beautiful. We could pick wildflowers and wade in the creek, and you could always find really interesting stones and try to catch minnows. So if I were to do something like this essay assignment, that's what I would pick. I wouldn't pick one of the larger vacation spots, because there again, it ends up sounding like a travelogue, which isn't our goal, and it's a whole different kind of writing. So, as you're working through your essay, think about what your subject is. What are you going to describe? Will you describe it objectively or subjectively, and why? Why are you interested in this topic? So the answer to that is because it was assigned, but you pick between the two. So what makes you prefer one over the other? What instantly pops into your mind? Do you have a personal or professional connection to the subject? Is there a significant topic of interest to others? Why? Who specifically might find it interesting, informative, or entertaining? And then, what is the main purpose of your description? In 1 or 2 sentences, describe the major effect you'd like your descriptive essay to have on your readers. What would you like for them to understand or see about your subject? List at least 3 details that you think would help clarify your subject for your readers. What difficulties, if any, might arise during drafting? For example, what organizational strategy might you think about now that would allow you to guide your readers through your description in a coherent way? So, if you work through these questions and answer those and do that as pre-writing to your essay, that will get you on track and then put you in a position where you can start outlining and thinking about the things that you need to include in your essay. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me or talk to each other in the forums in the discussion board area. Thank you.